My good brother here is being economical with the truth, and he has.
What do you mean by he's being economical with the
truth? He has made some disjointed analysis.
Let's hear you.
One of those disjointed analysis. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hold on.
He has made some disjointed analysis.
I am the anchor here. Wait, hold on. There's some piece of the party that all of you want in the first place. So, what is next for Julius Abure, in whose camp you are from?
Thank you so much, my good brother. The next thing is that the party has come in-house, just like the Supreme Court have rightly advised that the party matters is an internal affair of political parties. And then the question is, who is the party? The party is like a human being, but it breathes through an organ. There is an organ that helps the party breathe, which includes the National Convention, the National Executive Council, the state working committees, the local government committees, the ward executives. These are what makes up a party. And now, Julius Abure is in charge of these organs of the party. So the way forward is for every other person to come and fall in line and follow the party leadership and not disobey the Constitution. The Supreme Court made it clear that the Constitution of the party supersedes every other personal interest.
Sorry to interrupt you. Did you just say Julius Abure is in charge of the party? You mean even now?
Yes.
Considering what happened today at the INEC headquarters?
Please, what happened
anyway,
today?
we're
INEC headquarters is a national and public institution. And anybody is free to visit there. If you can remember in the past, there was a time a National Transition Committee was formed by the NLC. They made the same visit to INEC headquarters. Did it change anything? INEC is established by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and they cannot take action because people visited them. After all, they are open for people to visit them on daily basis.
It wasn't just a visit. They were there, your only governor, yes, Alex Otti, and of course your presidential candidate, yes, was there. Mm-hmm. They presented Nenadi Usman, yes, as the authentic leader of the party.
Governor Alex Otti or whomever does not have that power. He's a governor of a state. He's not the national chairman of a party.
But he's a member of the NWC.
He's a member of NEC.
The NEC, yes.
He is a member of NEC. And he does not have the power to go to INEC to present who is the leader of the party. He doesn't have that power. Look at the party constitution. Dr. Alex Otti, no matter how high and big he is, he lacks that same jurisdiction to present leadership for the party. If you look at what happened in Transcorp and INEC today, they said it's a NEC meeting. There are composition of NEC. You cannot call a NEC meeting without the state chairmen and secretaries. They are statutory members of NEC.
Are you saying invitation was not sent out to them?
There was no invitation to anybody. You saw the invitation on the internet.
But by your position as the national youth leader, did you get the invitation?
I didn't get any invitation.
But you were there?
What am I doing in such a meeting?
Well, because it's your party.
National headquarters.
Okay.
It's not done in Transcorp Hilton. They have the government of their state money to flaunt around. That is why they are going to rent. Labour Party is a party of social democracy. We don't have that amount of money to go to rent Transcorp. They are renting Transcorp with the public fund. It's Abia people's money that he used to rent Transcorp because he knows that is not Labour Party meeting. He is calling his personal agenda meeting. And Labour Party says no to it. And there are disciplines that will come with some of these things. Dr. Alex Otti is elected as a governor by law. And he understands the Constitution. And the Supreme Court have said that go back to your house and obey your Constitution. The first question, even the media analysts and everybody should be asking, what is obtainable in this Constitution? The study should start from the Constitution. Who gives Alex Otti power to form a caretaker committee? In fact, there was a suit presented in Aba by Nenadi Usman challenging the leadership of Abure. INEC that they visited today gave an affidavit stating that you cannot have an election of officers without writing to INEC for a notice. So if there is any NEC meeting to ratify leadership position, you must write INEC. And he told them in that affidavit that we don't have a notice from you, so therefore we don't know you. We don't know the caretaker. INEC have denied them several. He's there. I can present the case to you. He's there. INEC doesn't know them. INEC doesn't recognize them. So what they did in INEC headquarters today is razzmatazz. is simply playing to the gallery.
Okay.
And they know it.
Now that Julius Abure's tenure has officially ended long before now.
Who says so?
Because he has served 2 terms.
Julius Abure served
4 years
Are
each.
you sure of what you are talking about?
By your constitution.
Are you sure?
By your constitution.
Are you
he's
sure that
supposed
Julius
to serve.
Abure have served 2 terms?
What does the constitution say?
Julius Abure
he served 2 terms.
Listen, Julius Abure have not even served their term. Let me shock you.
How so?
Julius Abure is a child of necessity. The former national chairman died in December 2020. And an emergency NWC meeting held, emergency NEC meeting held, and statutorily the deputy national chairman fall in line to serve for 3 months for the party to convene NEC to now decide who becomes their leader. After that 3 months, we went to NEC meeting, invited INEC. INEC were there, where we elected Julius Abure to act out the tenure of A.A. Salam, which we are supposed to end in 2023. And after that 2023 general election, because of the election and litigations, the party NEC decided, INEC was also there, decided to extend the tenure of that NWC to 2024 June. But before the expiration of June 2024, the same NEC sat down and constituted a national convention. And it is in the powers of the NEC to call for national convention. And that national convention held in Nnewi on 27th of March 2024. And that convention has never been challenged by anybody. Those that few people that challenged it at the lower court has been explained. It was clear to them that the party decision is party decision. And NEC have taken a decision to hold a convention, and that convention is binding. So this is the first tenure of Barrister Julius Abure.
All right. I'll come back to you, but let me try to reconnect with our guests on Zoom, talking about Splendor Oko. Thanks for joining us on the program tonight.
Thank you so much. Good to have me.
All right. Tell us about what happened at INEC headquarters today. To begin with, were you there?
Yes, I was there.
Please tell us what transpired at INEC headquarters today.
Okay, before I go to that, it's no longer a news that today we held our NEC meeting at Hilton. You know, after the meeting at the Hilton, we proceeded to INEC. But before then, the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment that we have been waiting for came out today. You know, there was this controversy, you know, that Abure raised up, saying that the Supreme Court judgment did not sack him. But lo and behold, when the CTC came today, it was clear, without any ambiguity, that the Supreme Court judgment sacked Abure. So that was what prompted our movement to INEC today to officially submit the CTC of the Supreme Court to INEC. So that is what we did. We went there with our governorship candidate, presidential candidate in 2023, and then the governor of Abia State, Dr. Otti. Then also Nanadi Usman, who is the caretaker chairman, and then the secretary, Senator Darlington Wokocha. We were all there in INEC. And as God may have it, INEC has officially received the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment that sacked Abure. Thank you.
Now that you, from your explanation, it doesn't quite sit well with those in Julius Abure's camp, because they still insist that Julius Abure remains the chairman, despite the release of well, of course, the explanation in the certified true copies of the Supreme Court judgment, which has been released. So, how do we come to a compromise regarding this? They do not still believe or accept that Julius Abure is no longer the chairman.
But, my dear brother, they don't need to argue with the Supreme Court judgment. So,
there appears to be a static in the network again. We will try to reconnect with Splendor Oko once the network stabilizes. Let me come back to you before I come to the lawyer. You are aware you have also gone through the certified true copies of the Supreme Court judgment. Why are you still of course, not just you now, you and your camp, why are you still insistent that you don't accept it?
The Supreme Court judgment is so clear, just like he said, but I wanted somebody to highlight the paragraph, a particular paragraph, where the Supreme Court said that Barrister Julius Abure is sacked. Supreme Court said that even themselves cannot interfere in party leadership affairs. That therefore they have set aside every other decision that were made. And the appeal court never never alluded chairmanship to Abure. Appeal court in that suit declined jurisdiction, but made a proclamation of guidance of where the leadership of the party lies.
All right.
Are you getting it?
Okay.
They made a proclamation of guidance that they should look at a judgment of the same appeal court in November 13, where they mandated INEC to recognize the candidate nominated by somebody. Who nominated that candidate? Julius Abure. That they should take clue that whoever nominated that candidate is the chairman of the party.
All right. Now, Barrister Vincent.
Yes.
The Julius Abure's camp and, of course, Nenadi Usman's camp, it appears there is still no backing down, as it were, when, in fact, the party's peace and progress is what they should be thinking about now. Well, the certified true copies of the Supreme Court judgment is out. What shall we deduce from that, CTC?
Okay. Thank you for having me, and thank you, a wonderful audience. It is quite unfortunate, the situation you have at hand. The leadership squabbles in Labour Party has provoked an exciting scholastic disputation, ranging from contentious issues and responses, such that we have gotten to a level where even in the court of public opinion, on the newspaper stand, in the marketplaces, people have now subjected the judgment of Supreme Court to multiple subjective, individual, marketplace interpretation. It is rather unfortunate. Permit me to state in a bit the historical pedigree of what have led to where we are today before I will talk on the Supreme Court judgment.
Please go ahead.
Recall that there was judgment of Honorable Justice Kolawole, now JCA, which now ordered Labour Party for all-inclusive national convention in 2018. All-inclusive national convention 2018. And that transported up to before 2023 election, 2022, there was an agreement, a settlement kind of agreement was reached in Delta State that the Abure National Committee should be extended for 1 year to enable them handle issues with respect to 2023 general election. It won't be too fair for the party to embark on that, journey, as the case may be. That was what they had. And that 1 year was extended, and they had the 2023 general election up to last year. Now, when they are supposed to conduct national convention, his office elapsed June 2024. June 2024.
That's right.
When the office elapsed, INEC stopped recognition of Julius Abure as the national chairman of Labour Party last June. That was why Julius Abure issued notice of convention to INEC for the convention to be held in Benin City, after which it was moved to Umuahia. From Umuahia, I want you to listen to me, please.
Let him finish.
I don't want all this counter-argument.
No problem. You have to finish.
It was moved to Umuahia. From Umuahia, it was moved to Nnewi. When it was moved to Nnewi, some persons now came together and purportedly said to have organized a national convention, and some persons, including Abure, alleged to have emerged. INEC quickly issued a letter, a disclaimer, and said, "We did not monitor your purported convention in Nnewi. You are not the elected national chairman, because INEC must monitor you. By the Electoral Act, INEC has statutory power under Section 4 to monitor all party activities, including convention, congresses, and what have you. The stakeholders of the parties, the state governor, the Labour Party presidential candidate, all the House of Assembly, House of Reps, senatorial elected members of the NEC, they were not in attendance of that convention. INEC said we will not recognize you. Now, it was on the basis of refusal of INEC to recognize Abure that Abure went to court and filed this action at the Federal High Court in Abuja using Labour Party. The suit reads Labour Party versus INEC. By which time, there was 6th of September resolution in 4th of September resolution at Omoahia, when the NEC convoked and they elected a caretaker committee because nature abhors vacuum. INEC has said, we don't know you, the convention you did. So will you amount that Labour Party office should just be vacant, nobody occupy it. So because of the refusal of INEC, there was a national convention, there was a NEC meeting in Omoahia. And the resolution was passed to elect XYZ, Senator
Nenadi
Usman and fellow one culture demand to pilot the affairs of the party pending when a national convention is conducted to elect national officers to fill the vacancies, as the case may be, which the NEC has the powers under Article 13 to 12 and 16 of the Constitution of the party, as the case may be. Now, the Federal High Court gave judgment in that suit. Nenadi Usman, who was not sued at caretaker committee, applied to be joined in this suit at the Federal High Court. When application was filed, my Lord, I think Justice Witt or thereabout, granted them the application and joined them as a party to the suit because they say they have vested interest, haven't been appointed national caretaker committee of the party. They were joined. And they filed a counter affidavit stating at the Federal High Court, we are the authentic leaders of the party. I am the authentic national chairman of the caretaker chairman of the party. That counter affidavit was not challenged by Abure. Abure did not file, which appeal court faulted and said, you did not file, not the filed counter affidavit challenging your seat at the trial court, but you did not file further affidavit to say you are not the caretaker chairman. You are not. You did not challenge it. Okay. Now, when this matter went to the Court of Appeal, that's when this dispute started. And I want to extract it. Appeal court had issues. 4 issues were raised before the Court of Appeal. 5 issues were raised in the relief that was filed at the trial court. 1, 2, 3, and 4 has to do with 1. Who has power? Whether Abure, because Abure was denied, was kind of contesting whether he had, who has power to submit lists of candidates to INEC with respect to Ondo governorship election, and who has power with respect to notices. INEC was trying to issue notices to trainers, fresher trainer, as the case may be. So the relief 1, 2, 3, 4 has to do with squabbles as to submission of list to INEC, removal of candidate, withdrawal of candidate, Bisani, and as case may be. Now, when that matter went to Court of Appeal, then relief 5 has to do with, Abure now said that INEC should recognize him, accord him recognition as the leader and head of Labour Party as the national chairman of the party, including his right and privileges to submit lists and to be entitled to receive notices from INEC, as the case may be. Now, Court of Appeal was invited to determine, among this relief, which one constitutes principal relief and ancillary relief. In law, ancillary relief are relief that are not merely contentious, but principal relief are the one that is contentious, that if determined, will settle the dispute one way or the other. And the fellows, the appellant, Nenadi Usman, raised the issue, appeal court, I think that relief 1, 2, 3, 4 does not close you with the judicial. It is the relief 5, which has to do with leadership. And the appeal court agreed that it is relief 5, which has to do with leadership, that ought to have been, that constitutes principal relief, which gives the court jurisdiction. In the final analysis, Abure now brought, in the course of his argument at the Court of Appeal, brought earlier judgment delivered by the Court of Appeal in November 2014. In the case of Olusola Ebiseni versus Ayotel or something, on who was the rightful candidate of the party in Labour in Ondo State. In that case, appeal court had already pronounced, determined as to whether there was a proper substitution of the party or withdrawal in that suit. Okay. But appeal court now said, in this proper case now, because of, I'm coming, sir, because of judgment we have delivered in Ibisoro case, real judgment of November, where we have pronounced Abure national chairman. Abure is the national chairman as the case may be. Moreover, this case, which borders on leadership of the party, is such that we cannot be ventilated at the Court of Appeal, as the case may be, because the substance borders on internal affairs.
Was that the reason the matter went to the Supreme Court?
Yes. Now, the Supreme Court, the matter now went to Supreme Court. 3 issues were raised to be determined at the Supreme Court by the appellant. 1, whether the Appeal Court will have jurisdiction to have determined the matter. 2, whether the reliance of the Court of Appeal on the Bisani's judgment earlier in November to have pronounced Abure national chairman in the current judgment, whether it was right or wrong. And the later judgment, the other issue. Supreme Court x-rayed these issues and gave judgment to say, you read it from pages 44, 45, 46, 47, and 48, and said at page 34, 44, and 45 that the judgment of Episani, where Appeal Court had heard in November 2024, there was nothing like leadership of the party there, which Appeal Court relied on.
Okay,
Brother Vincent, please.
I would like Hannah to respond.
Okay. It was wrong for Appeal Court to have relied on that judgment because there was nothing like leadership. It's all about withdrawal and substitution of name.
So tell us about the Supreme Court judgment now.
The Supreme Court judgment, as of today, in the final analysis, the fact speaks for itself. The law speaks for itself. It's clear, unequivocal, unambiguous. The tenure of Abure had expired because 1, the judgment in which the Appeal Court relied on the Bisani judgment to have founded him as the chairman of the party, Supreme Court said never discuss issue of leadership but withdrawal and substitution of candidate for own election. Then the substantive judgment itself that came on appeal, which is Labour Party versus INEC. In this one we are discussing now, which Supreme Court gave judgment. Supreme Court said that Appeal Court and the trial court lack jurisdiction to determine leadership of the party. It's an internal affair of the party. What is the status quo? The status quo is this. The Supreme Court haven't held that the trial court lack jurisdiction to have entertained the matter. Appeal Court lack jurisdiction to entertain the matter. Status quo refers to INEC position for Nnewi Convention, which they did not want to. They said, we cannot recognize you, which is the reason why Abure rushed to the court to get an order for them to recognize him.
Now, in the final analysis, the resolution now falls back. The Supreme Court now pushed it back to the party to resolve it by themselves. Isn't that the spot where we are now?
No, the status quo, Supreme Court will not declare everything, but they'll declare the law. The law is that the trial court and the court of appeal.
I'd like you to hold on there. Hold the thought there.
Yes.
I'll come back to you to finish this up. How to? Now that the Supreme Court, to the layman, you may have said, well, the Supreme Court has washed his hands off the case and says, you go and put your house in order. That's what the layman will say. Now, isn't it possible for let me land on this question because I'll need you to respond to it. If party supremacy and the peace and progress of the party is what all of you, are after, including those who aspire to be chairman, former chairman, caretaker chairman, and what have you, why is Julius Abure not humble enough to step aside and allow for fresh contestations regarding the office of the national chairman?
I asked one simple question again to my learned brother here. Can you kindly highlight a paragraph in that judgment of the Supreme Court where it is said that Abure is sacked? Nobody have done that since I've been asking this question, since morning that the CTC came out, but that's by the way. Number 2, my good brother here is being economical with the truth, and he has...
What do you mean by he's being economical with the truth?
He has made some disjointed analysis.
Let's hear you.
One of those disjointed analysis. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hold on.
He has made some disjointed analysis.
I am the anchor here. Wait, hold on.
Stop attacking me. Attack the issue. Discuss the issue.
Barrister Vincent, you had your time.
I'm not a Labour Party. I'm a practicing lawyer.
Barrister Vincent, with all due respect, you had your time. Just calm down. Let him respond. You will have your time to respond. Don't worry. We're wasting time now. Let him go on.
Disjointed issue, the point that he made, and I'm shocked that a lawyer will be making such a disjointed...
What do you mean by that?
One of the disjointed issues is this.
You will have the time to respond. Hold on.
Discuss the issue. Leave the lawyer.
They asked you a question, and you went beyond the question they asked you. To give a foundation. I'm giving a foundation.
Kingsley, listen to me.
Okay?
You have your time. Now respond to what he said.
Thank you so much. Thank you for protecting me.
All right.
One of the disjointed information he pushed out to the public on national TV is one, that Julius Abure tenure have expired before he gave notice of convention. That is a lie from the
What was it? What was it?
Julius Abure, he has accepted there was an extension of Julius Abure tenure in 2023 June in Asaba. By 2023 June, Julius Abure tenure was extended to lead the party for 1 year, which was supposed to expire by June 2024. By December 3rd, 2023, Julius Abure issued a notice for National Convention. The NEC met and gave a notice for National Convention to hold in Benin. The first venue was Benin. Eventually, because of our heated campaign and issue of, we had an issue in Benin, we felt we can't hold that election in Benin. We push it to Umuahia. And there's nothing wrong with anybody changing venue. If you put a venue of your wedding here and you find you can't do it there, you can change it to another venue. And eventually, that convention was agreed to hold in Anambra State, in Newi. When that convention held, can he accept that Julius Abure at March 27th, 2024, March and June, how many months apart? June was supposed to be the expiration date. March was the National Convention in Nnewi. Are they not clear? March 27th, June 9th. And then another disjointed point that he made here on national TV is simple. That Nenadu Usman Committee was commissioned in 4th of September. And I'm asking, you made a point when you were starting this program that leadership of any organization, be it political party, cannot be in vacuum.
That's right.
Who now was the chairman of the party between that June and September 4th? Hold it there. Secondly, he said that INEC stopped recognizing Abure as of June. On 28th of June, Julius Abure was invited by INEC. Till today, there is a communication between the party and INEC. Julius Abure was invited by INEC to supervise the sensitive materials for the Ondo election. Number 3 disjointed fact that he brought as a lawyer is that he said that Julius Abure went to court to challenge the leader to say that he's the national chairman of Labour Party. Never. Julius Abure, in July, when mischievousness started by people that felt they can manipulate the system, they went to INEC and nobody knows what they... And even INEC does not have the power to decide for political parties. What they do is they guide.
Because of course they are supposed to be an umpire.
They guide.
Kennedy, just hold that thought.
They don't decide who is the national chairman.
Our other guest, your other brother from who is on Zoom, talking about Splendor Oko, is back online now. Let us hear from you, Splendor. Now, I would like to find out this. When you went to INEC today, did INEC recognize Nenadi Usman as the new chairman of Labour Party? Did INEC do that today?
Of the judgment.
Could you turn up your volume, please, so we can hear you more clearly? Let the world hear you so that we can put this matter to rest right here.
Yes, can you hear me right now?
Yeah, it's loud now.
Is it clear now?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, I said we went to INEC to submit the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment, which we did. We submitted the Supreme Court judgment and it was received. But before I go to that angle, I want to bring to your notice that Julius Abure is fond of disobeying court orders. I was the candidate of Labour Party in 2023, governorship candidate of Labour Party in 2023 in Ebonyi State. Julius Abure and Umaru Farouk connived and wrote a letter, a forged letter, withdrawal letter to INEC, forged by signature removed my name from INEC and told INEC that I am incapacitated. I don't want to run the election anymore. When I got the information, I ran down to INEC headquarters, Abuja, and demanded to see the letter Abure submitted to INEC. When the letter, the citizen of the letter was given to me, lo and behold, Abure forged my signature and removed my name from the portal. I went to court, sir. I dragged Abure and Farouk to court, Federal High Court, Abakaliki, Ebonyi State. As God may have it, I defeated them in the Federal High Court. Abure took me to Court of Appeal, Enugu. We went to Court of Appeal, Enugu. I still won Abure at the Court of Appeal, Enugu. Abure did not stop there. Abure took me to Supreme Court, Abuja here. We all came to Supreme Court, Abuja. And as God may have it, I defeated Abure again in the Supreme Court, Abuja. Then the court ordered Abure and INEC to remove Edward Ukwego Kreke's name in INEC portal and put back my name. Do you know, sir, that Abure disobeyed that Supreme Court judgment? So this is not the first time Abure is disobeying the Supreme Court judgment. And we are saying, will Abure always agree to Supreme Court judgment when it favors him, or any court judgment when he is favored?
All right, here's what we're going to do now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I want us to bring this conversation to a close because we're almost out of time.
Yes, can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
This particular Supreme Court judgment, sir.
I need you to round off quickly.
Yes. In rounding off, sir, this particular Supreme Court judgment that has sacked Abure is unambiguous. It states that Julius Abure's tenure has expired.
All right.
It has expired. It's there. If you want the CTC, I can still forward it to you.
I do have the CTC. All right. Yes, thank you very much for your contribution.
Has expired, and if there is, you cannot place something on nothing and expect it to stand.
Of course.
The Supreme Court has made the judgment, and the judgment stands.
I would like us to leave it there for on your part. Comrade Splendor Oko, member of the Labour Party, talking to us via Zoom right here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Let me come back to you, Barrister Vincent and Comrade Kennedy Hanotu. We are closing now, all right? I would like your final thought. You see, you are friends, all right? You're a lawyer, you're a party member. We do not have to end in quarrel. There is already a matter at hand in Labour Party, so definitely what you want for your party, Kennedy, is a resolution. Hold on. Is a resolution of the matter in your party. Now, in closing, as I asked earlier, you haven't answered that one. Can Julius Abure be humble enough to step aside and then, of course, have another, for another election to happen, to take place so that there will be a new national chairman, so that the party Peace and Progress can go on? I'm talking to you, Kennedy.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
We're closing now.
As much as I know, Julius Abure tenure has not ended.
And so?
And it's not about being humble. If there is anything for discussion, the gladiators that feel that they have access to public funds should come into the house.
All right, thank you very much. That's all the time.
And now place it on the table for discussion.
That's all the time
if
we
they
have.
have not
Vincent,
done that, they are still wasting their time.
Can we close quickly?
Please, you didn't give me enough time.
It is not anybody's fault. Please round up quickly.
235 of the Constitution
have
placed the Supreme Court as the policy court and the final court in the land.
Okay.
Section 2871 says the Supreme Court judgment is final and shall be enforced by all persons and authorities throughout the Federal Republic of Nigeria, including Abure and Labour Party.
We are going to have to come back.
Supreme Court judgment cannot be subjected to individual interpretation. The majesty and integrity of the Supreme Court is being attacked.
Let us